Hey, my name is Stix and welcome back to your weekly Gacha recap, a video series where coincidentally I recap everything that happened in the Gacha genre over the course of the last week in one easy to digest format. If this is your first time here, then what are you waiting for? Go on over and join the Stix subreddit community. This is one of the biggest, fastest growing Gacha communities on subreddit. We recap everything that happens every single day in the Gacha genre. We stream it over on YouTube, over on Twitch, and more recently over on Kick as well. Don't forget to follow me there. Now we have a lot to talk about, so let's just go ahead and jump right in. A brand new action RPG Gacha game was just announced, Shining Embers. I have a dedicated video for this over on the channel. It was posted just earlier last night or earlier today, since that's when I'm recording the video. I have pre-registration links available over on my website, mygachahub.com, if you want to go ahead and pre-register for the upcoming beta test. The test phase is available in Chinese, or will be available in Chinese. The game is a top-down isometric gacha. You know, just go ahead, look at this video right here. Trust me, you're not going to be disappointed, and if you are, then don't tell me, because that'll just make me upset and I'll suffer, or I will decline into a state of severe, deep depression, and that'll be your fault. Neverness to Everness was accused of copying Wuthering Waves. I did a dedicated video on this. This was kind of wild. Yeah, the community is very divided. There are lots of people that are upset. There are lots of people that think it's inconsequential and that it's more of a compliment that NTE is taking inspiration from WuWa. I'm on the fence. I think it's both a sign that WuWa has achieved a new level of success, but at the same time, if NTE starts taking too much inspiration from other games, then their game itself is no longer original and is just a copy of other games. So on the one hand, it's a compliment. On the other hand, I can see it also being kind of lazy, which is what some people are saying. Speaking of Wuthering Waves, Lupa's release is right around the corner. They released her Resonator Combat Showcase. They released all the info you need concerning her, what resources, materials are necessary to upgrade her. I'm going to be streaming her release. I'm going to be streaming the patch that comes with it, or the story event that comes with it, the second half of 2.4. Dude, I cannot wait. I am absolutely thrilled. I am beyond excited. Dragon Blaze announced their service termination. Apparently, the game was live for over 10 years. That's wild. I didn't even know Gacha games were, maybe, yeah. Actually, yeah, I don't know a single Gacha game, admittedly, that was alive a decade ago. Oh, it looks like old, old PS1 games. I mean, hey, you managed a decade. That's unbelievable. Silver and Blood has officially launched and has run into a few different issues. Now, I think the game itself is a fun game with a solid story and incredible looking waifus, but it did run into some issues, some hiccups over the course of the first 48-hour period of release. I think those have, for the most part, been resolved. I'm curious to see whether or not the game ultimately recovers from this. Looking at the Google Play Store, it doesn't look like the game even has a rating. It hasn't had a rating, interestingly enough, for a little while. There are apparently two different Play Store listings for this game. Here's Silver and Blood Requiem. This one's rated 3.6 stars, has 50,000 downloads. I don't know which one is the official one. The reviews here are apparently from 2025, June 26 and 27, 2025. So I don't know, but I am curious to see what happens ultimately with the game. Tower of Fantasy released the new, what people are referring to as the H-game trailer. And yeah, I did a video for this. I titled it, I Have No Words, because I had no words after watching it. You should go check that trailer out, or that video at least, because it was something else. Persona 5 The Phantom X also launched in the last few days, and while overall it has been very positively received, it did run into some issues. As an example here, Hancock Boa made a thread titled "Limited polls on launch, unlike the original servers. GG to the devs. They just lost a good portion of the new player base with these pre-registration rewards without any limited tickets. I played a lot of gachas and I can't remember a single game that doesn't give them. The Sage of Teva, or that guest that's a Genshin player, Genshin creator, said, feels bad to have to reroll for the premium unit by doing just a couple of singles. Seems like a lot of people are upset over the initial rewards in the original servers were supposedly a lot better. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, you know what, it's at the end of the day, it's a Chinese gacha game, so things like this would be expected. Regardless of that, Persona 5 The Phantom X did hit the Steam top 10 bestsellers chart on day 1. Let's go ahead and see how the game was ultimately received though over on Steam. Steam lists this as mostly positive out of 70% of the reviews. It's pretty good. The Play Store lists it as 4 stars. That's also pretty good. I mean, it probably could have been a little bit better, but those are pretty damn good ratings given the game just launched a couple days ago. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. Kudo announced a brand new game was in development. This is NAMI. This is a game that we have covered in the past, but there have been new updates made to it. And that is that the game is now looking to potentially be an MMO, a massively multiplayer online game. That could be enormous. A game on this scale from Kudo, the people that do Wuthering Waves and Punishing Gray Raven. They could reinvigorate the MMO genre. I have a dedicated video on this as well, going over the entire thing. It's like 15, 18 minutes long. I gave all my thoughts in that. As an MMO veteran myself, I cannot wait to see what they do with this. 70% of Blackstorm, which is ReMemento White Shadow Studio, have apparently been told they need to resign, or they should resign, rather. I also did a dedicated video on this, but essentially what happened was they received an email saying it is in their best interest to just go ahead and resign from the studio. The CEO made an official response concerning this, where he went on to essentially state they are going to be issuing bug fixes and fixing server stability, but other than that, that's pretty much what they have in line. Their entire roadmap consists of just fixing issues right now. No new characters, no new content, but they want you to continue spending in the game. So the future is not looking bright for ReMemento White Shadow, which is a shame because it is a relatively fun game. Tower of God, Great Journey has officially shut down, or announced that they were shutting down. Oh, never mind, it shut down without any prior notice. Over 300 players were all confused as the game suddenly stopped opening. We all had over 550 login streak. The login streak was added 1.5 years later, so it's around that. Basically, we all had a perfect login streak, and after around 28 hours since the game's not opening, they announced its end of service. What? That is wild. Oh man, I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this over on stream. I wanna read deeper into this to find out exactly what's going on. That is crazy. Azur Lane TCG is ending service. I know nobody even knew this existed. That's probably the reason that it's shutting down. They announced it will be closed on Friday, November 14th. But you know what? That's honestly, it's whatever, because Azur Lane is still going to exist. Azure Premilia is still in development. So at the end of the day, not a problem. Blue Archive, however, we're releasing onto Steam. They had a confirmed Steam launch date for like I think the 20th, 24th or something like that in June. But the Steam launch was delayed until further notice due to platform review process delay. An unconfirmed date. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month, God knows how long. We don't know exactly what happened. They did state that the platform wants to review the game, so it could be the characters are a little bit too explicit, something in the game is too explicit. Maybe the game won't ultimately end up releasing onto Steam, or if it does, we might have to censor something. I guess we'll find out soon. Musume just launched a couple days ago, just like Persona 5, just like Silver and Blood. I had a lot of fun in this. This was an incredibly unique game that I did not expect. It is very complicated, and I would not play this game long term or main it, because it's just, it requires too much time, I think, from me. But if you want my thoughts on the game, I strongly urge you to go ahead and take a look at that. Endfield, the studio behind Infinity Nikki, they started botting reviews on the Google Play Store. They did this on the Steam platform for a while after it launched because it was overwhelmingly negative. then they decided to do it on the Google Play Store too. Started receiving comments like, it's a good app, very nice app, very nice app, very addictive game. Yes, a great for this apps. Wow, great, nice app, good-ish, nice graphics. It was horrible, genuinely horrible. And this has actually gone on to become one of the highest upvoted and commented on threads on the entire subreddit, because we only have 1,500 members right now. So make sure you go ahead and join the community, by the way. Let us know what's going on in case we miss anything. Arknights plagiarized a Monster Hunter character and they got in trouble. The character in specific is Ascalon. The artist in specific is Senmo. And the punishment for this was to essentially fire him, fire the artist. He apologized, he admitted he did it. He didn't try to cover anything up, he didn't try to hide anything. The studio didn't try to hide anything. I covered this as well, but I think this was very professionally handled. It sucks that the artist did it. I think this is one of the worst things an artist can do as part of the art community. And at the end of the day, I give both kudos for how they handled things, how professionally it was done, and I wish I could say the same thing for Danmachi Battle Chronicle, who announced their end of service after going on a temporary hiatus. So, what happened with this? And it says Stix was right because I called it. They announced the PS4, PS5 versions were shutting down. They were gonna leave the cash app open for like an entire 2 months after announcing it was shutting down. And then like that in and of itself was scummy, but then they said that PC and mobile were gonna be fine. They had plans in production for the game to continue servicing it. So they left purchases, a store and everything open and available on PC mobile. And then after like a month or two of silence, they said, oh, just an FYI, we're also shutting down PC mobile in a few months, but we're going to release the anniversary event that we'd already finished and allow for all of you to spend a ton of money in the anniversary event, but then shut the game down literally directly after the anniversary event. So milk players for as much as you can, and then screw them in the ass because you're not going to get to keep anything or enjoy anything after that initial dopamine hit of experiencing the anniversary. Absolute trash bag horseshit devs. I hope they burn in hell. This is disgusting. I also did a video on this, but man. And then finally, Neverness to Everness announced that they are entering into closed beta testing in July globally. The game is also in closed beta testing right now in China, which is why the whole copied woo up thing situation has been going on. I'm really excited to stream this when it releases for us in a few days. I think this has the potential to be really cool, and I'd love to, at the very least, in terms of whether or not they copied entire characters, kits, combos, animations, designs, everything. I would like the opportunity here to experience it myself and to make an accurate comparison rather than just hearing a few people say a few different things and give reference to something very, very small and potentially out of context. Not saying it is out of context, but I'm saying there is a possibility that it could be taken out of context. I would love to be able to actually address it in real time and say, look at this, and this are the same thing. So I would have physical evidence to be able to say so because I'm experiencing it myself. So be on the lookout for that. I'm really excited to play it. I hope everything goes over well and goes over very smoothly, but in the off chance it doesn't, then, well, you know where I'm gonna be streaming it. YouTube, Twitch, Kick. Follow me there. And that is everything that happened in the Gacha genre over the course of the last week. I know this video is a day late, normally goes live on Sundays, but I forgot that it was Sunday today as of recording the video, and I was like, well, fuck. I should probably just go ahead and delay today and post it on Monday. So that's what we're doing. You're up to date now. You're welcome. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the Gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.